correlation, we're going to have a couple of different videos to walk you through what is possible with correlation. And the first thing to realize is that we're working with a different data set. We're going to work with the data set for college student information. And if we take a look at the variable view, it's going to walk us through what are the different variables that we have, what types of variable are they, and it's also going to give you the labeling information that was used. We can go back over to our data view. Now, the Analyze menu is where we're going to live for most of our statistics calculations. So you'll see you have Analyze and then Correlate. Now, from Correlate, we have a couple of options. We have regression, so when we need to get to a regression, we're able to do it from here. And we also have Correlate, which is a bivariate correlation. So because we're looking to see what is the correlation between two or more variables, let's say that we want to see the correlation between the amount of TV watched per week and the amount of hours that we study per week. We're going to move those both over here, and we want to make sure that Pearson is checked off. So that's going to give us our Pearson correlation value. We also want to make sure that we keep flag significant correlations checked off. That's not necessary, but it really draws our attention to what we need to look at. And then we can go on the options menu. I like to check off means and standard deviations so that I can actually see the descriptive statistics all at one time. Once we have our settings done, we click OK. And that will generate our output. Now remember, sometimes your output hides, and so in my case, my output decided it would play hide and go seek with me. So I have my output here. These are my descriptive statistics. So the mean for the amount of hours watched is 12 hours per week, and it's about 6 units of spread onto the left and the right of the mean to give us that nice 68%. What's interesting is there is definitely more hours of study per week than TV. These are definitely not my children. And then the standard deviation has a bit more spread when it comes to that. This is only the descriptive statistic. This is not anything related to inferential. This is our correlation coefficient. And you'll notice this little star at the bottom. That's why we wanted to keep it checked off to flag significant correlations. Because you're going to know that where you see things flagged is where they're significant. So if I look at the amount of TV on the relationship between the hours per week of studying, I see that I have a significant correlation of negative 0.316. So that negative gives us the direction. So it's a negative direction, which means as hours of TV goes down, so does the hours of studying per week. And that's interesting. And then it's going to be significant because it's flagged it for me. And what does the 0.025 mean? So that's really interesting. That means that the chance that I accidentally stumbled upon this significant relationship is 2.5%. So it's pretty low. So the nice thing is that correlation tries to account for if you could accidentally come up with this, and you really can't. So this is how we're going to read a correlation. The direction is going to be either positive or negative based on the sign, and then the effect size is going to be how large this is. So 0.316 is not a terribly large effect size. It's kind of a moderate. So the way I would say is 0.1 is really small, like 0.1 to 0.2. 0.3 to 0.4 is moderate. And then around 0.5, we're going to call that large. So that's how you would answer that first piece of the knowledge check, would be utilizing this method.